Okay, welcome back. Today we're doing a little different format. I have a couple videos planned. Let me turn this off so get good audio. But I got a couple of different videos planned. But today we're going to talk about the mighty and mysterious and mystical, said to be created on the sixth day of creation, a being of energy, of a radiation, none other than the SHAMIR worm. And you might be saying, what in the hell is a SHAMIR worm, Josiah? Well, the SHAMIR worm, let's figure it out. Let's go see what the SHAMIR worm is. Okay? Now, right off the bat, this creature helped King Solomon, or this worm helped King Solomon create the temple. It was in charge of cutting the stones for the temple. And it was also said to have helped Moses cut the breastplates of the high priest. So as we see right here, these are some images of what they say it looks like. Now, as an artist, this thing to me, I don't think this is an accurate description. I think this is just a stylized or an artist rendition from early in the days. It could be, who knows, because this looks like a pretty old drawing. But we know that these people will make their artwork look very old and say it was the original picture, or say it's an accurate picture. So this is what it's said to look like, the SHAMIR worm. Let's go down. We'll take another look at this. Here's the bird that was. Okay, let's just get to the description of it. And like I said, this SHAMIR worm, or the SHAMIR worm, was in charge of cutting the stones, or used to cut the stones and used to cut the gems and inscribe the gems with the 12 names of the 12 tribes for Moses. And King Solomon used it to cut the stones for the temple because he could not use tools of bloodshed like iron or things such as like pickaxes or nails. None of these things could even enter a certain part of the temple. So this creature was given to him, and he knew about it. So let's read about what the SHAMIR worm is. Of course, again, we see the image. This seems to be a popular image associated with it. To me, this thing looks like I don't know if you guys seen Naruto. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I do remember. If you guys remember the sword Semihama, or Semihata, and it was an energy sword that could steal and just cut and just absorb and eat energy, and that's what its main goal was, to just eat energy. So I find it interesting that the sword that this dude had the sword was living, by the way, and I find it interesting that this image right here looks like that sword. And then down here you see this one. I don't know what that looks like, some type of hellhound or something, or maggot dog, I don't know. But let's read about the SHAMIR worm. Let's do some research on this mighty creature. What is the SHAMIR worm? In Talmud and other sacred Jewish texts, there are many references to the SHAMIR, a magical object possibly living and possessing mysterious powers. It can disintegrate anything with a glance. The rabbinical literature describes it as being used by Moses to carve part of the breastplate of the high priest. King Solomon was eager to possess the SHAMIR. He had heard about it from earlier days. After a tremendous search, the SHAMIR was found in a distant country, the depths of a well, and brought to Solomon. King Solomon stole SHAMIR from the hopo bird. Now if we go back to the images here of the SHAMIR, and we go down, this is what they say the hopo bird is, and it's called the woodstock, or another bird like that. But let's go back and keep on reading. The hopo bird that guarded it for Asmodeus. Now, if you don't know who Asmodeus is, Asmodeus is, as it says right here, Asmodeus, the king of the demons. King Solomon then used his power to construct the temple in order to fulfill God's command that the temple be constructed without any use of iron implements, thus referencing Exodus 22. Or I believe, I don't know, we'll see. But strangely, it lost its abilities and became inactive several centuries later, about the time the Temple of Solomon was destroyed by King Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, in the Testament of Solomon, the SHAMIR is described as a green stone with a laser, can cut stone with a mere glance. However, scholars have evidence that the SHAMIR is Baraya, creation ex nihilo, In the Kabbalistic terminology, the second of the four spiritual worlds, the realm of spiritual existence, which represents the first beings of a consciousness of self. Therefore, it is alive and thought to have been formed on the sixth day of creation. The Shamir has been most often interpreted as a kind of worm or salamander. It is recorded being the size of a barley corn. Now let's go up. Does that look like the size of a barley corn? This looks like a whole damn wall right here. Like, this thing looks like the size of a golden retriever. Like I said, it's like a hell lapdog. A lapdog from hell. Let's keep on going. It is the size of being of a barley corn, 1/3 of an inch, and apparently can disintegrate stone, wood, iron, and diamond. The material to be carved was merely shown to the Shamir, which went to work implementing the architectural plans. This implies that the Shamir had eyes in order to keep his powers from accidents and discharge. The Shamir was said to have been kept wrapped in wool and kept in a lead box. Alright, so I have several other places that talk about this. We're going to go to different websites and we're going to hear different stories, and we're going to see different references as to what the Shamir is. And actually, let me get another one opened up right here, because I had one pulled up, but my laptop's been acting funny today, so we're going to do Shamir. And what I clicked up last time, Shamir worm, Bible. Sorry, I type like a old person. Bible. Now we're gonna go down. Where is it? Where's the site? I was looking at. Here we go. Okay, so this is I think this is the most in-depth. As you see a laser here. This is one of the most in-depth descriptions of it and talking about it. It goes into a lot of details in other books and references as to where you can find it and hear about it. Okay, so according to the laws of Moses, no material used for the construction of the temple had to be worked with tools of iron or metal in general, which the weapons are made. So you could not have tools of bloodshed, like I said before. In the sacred place. Especially the altar was not to be profaned in any way by that contact. Not even a nail had to enter the yard, nor hammers, chisels, or picks, or tools. So in other descriptions or in any other stories, it talks about how the stones would be fitted, brought into these rooms, and then the Shamir would do the rest of the work. So much so that the stone arrived on the square already square. So they, like I said, they already chiseled it down to a nice size, nice square where it can be worked with, so that during the works no metallic noise can be heard in the temple. The only alternative way that the stone to work the stone without using iron tools was using the magic Shamir. Okay, now this is going to go into more of where Moses and what Moses used it for. Okay, Moshe used it. Now this was really interesting because let me just read it for you. God himself, according to the tradition, had handed it to Moses on Mount Sinai. Now, I was just reading the story of the golden calf yesterday while doing my devotions and praying and stuff like that. I read the story of the golden calf and Moses going up to Mount Sinai, and this is interesting. I've read many different articles about the Shamir worm, and this is the first article that I said that they brought this detail out. And now you're going to hear many different places and many different contradictions in these stories, but they all pretty much say the same. And they all have to do the same things. It just seems like certain things were left out or certain things were put in. We don't know, but we're going to be doing our research and comparing these. So now God himself, according to the tradition, had handed it to Moses on Sinai, who used it to engrave the names of the 12 tribes on the stones set in the breastplate on the ephod, which were part of the vestments of the high priest. Since then, however, the Shamir has disappeared and no one knew what had happened to it. The clues of existence of the Shamir come from at least 15 different midrashim, or aka a midrashim is just a story of the Torah that goes into deeper depth, or another story that explains one of the main stories of the Torah, which some of which are very ancient. Now, altogether, this story is this creature is very hard to find. This is not your typical creature where the Most High is saying, go find a lamb, go find an ox, go find a bird, go find an ant, like something like that. This creature is very, very, very special, very rare, and very hard to find. And we're going to show you how hard to find it was, and who it was guarded by. Now let's go back up to this site up right here. Now this is the other site where we're going to get more into depth of where it came from. Now this part's going to be very interesting. So we know that this creature was highly sought after. So let's start with this one, and let's go back down to this one right here. It says, King Solomon was eager to possess the Shamir because he had heard about it from earlier days. Now, if we're going to go to this story, and it's going to say, okay, it's going to say this right here. We're going to start right here. According to one legend, an eagle bought the Shamir from paradise to Solomon. This is why I like reading from this article and the one I was just on, because it goes into deeper depth, and it seems to cover all the stories of the Shamir instead of just saying one of the stories. According to one legend, an eagle brought the Shamir from paradise to Solomon at the latter's command. While other tradition runs as follows. When Solomon asked the rabbis how he can build the temple without using tools of iron, I don't think he had to ask the rabbis. Solomon was gifted extreme wisdom. I don't think that he needed to look around. But there's other stories of Solomon that he was a king too, so it's like, if I asked for something, maybe they could just get it for me. But I think that Solomon already knew about the Shamir. He just needed to know where it could be found. So Solomon asked the rabbis how he can build a temple without using the tools of iron. They called his attention to the Shamir, which Moses used to engrave the names of the tribes on the breastplates of the high priest. We read about that earlier, that Moses was gifted this worm, the Shamir worm, by the Most High himself to use to engrave the breastplates of the high priest. We're going to go back up here and read how a little later on about how the Shamir worm engraved the writings onto the the gemstones. Now let's keep on reading. They called his attention to the Shamir, which Moses had engraved the names of the tribes of the breastplates of the high priest, and advised him to command demons to his sway to obtain it for him. So we know that Solomon had every demon on earth, every bad spirit, and angels too under his, not under his foot, I don't want to say the angels were under his foot. The demons had to be put under his foot, and he had demons worldwide, both male and female demonic entities brought to him by the Most High, using the ring from the Most High given to him by Michael. I also believe he had the book of RAZIEL, and he had complete possession of the book of RAZIEL and the secrets of RAZIEL, but that's going to be explained a little later. So it says that the demons under Solomon's command, he called them all up and he started asking them, where is the Shamir worm? Solomon accordingly summoned Asmodeus, the prince of the demons. Now, this skips a story. If you don't know the story of Asmodeus, I'm not going to click on it because that's a whole other video for another day. Asmodeus is a very, very interesting demon. Here it says he's the prince of the demons, but in other stories it calls him the king of the demons, the leader of the demons. I think he could be just the leader or the prince of the demons in a certain sphere, a certain area, a certain, like, I lead all the demons of this area. But like I said, that's another video for another day. As of right now, we're just going to go for what it says. He summoned Asmodeus, the king/prince of the demons, who told him that the Shamir had been placed not in his charge. Now get this. This is where it gets so interesting. Not in his charge, but in that of the prince of the sea. The prince entrusted it to the wood grouse, the bird that we looked at before, and whose oath he confined. The wood grouse used the Shamir to cleave bare rocks so that he might plant seeds of trees in them, and thus cause new vegetation to spring up. So this bird just found a crazy hack. By using the Shamir worm, it would carry around, use it to blast rocks on the high cliffs, drop seeds in there, and then trees would come out of it, and trees would grow out of it. So it would pretty much be making its own gardens everywhere. And it was used as pretty much the ultimate seed planter, which is very interesting. It shows the symbiotic nature of animals that the Most High creates and Most High uses. The bird was called the rock splitter. Here it shows the Hebrew word for it. The Shamir was taken from the wood grouse by the following ruse. Its nest was found in its young covered with white glass. The bird then brought the Shamir and put it on the glass, which broke. At the moment, Solomon's emissary, now his emissary because there's another story about how they obtained this. And it sent a boy named Ben Yaha. That's who his emissary was, who did the job of obtaining the Shamir worm. And another thing was, it says that it was in a well. This says that it took the Shamir from the bird and it scared the bird, which, again, we're going to have to go and compare the story, so I'm going to have to go find the link that I had. In fact, let me go look at it right now, because I have it on my phone. We don't need to go and open up another tab, actually, so we go into albums, Shamir and the Magic Carpet, and I have it highlighted. Okay, so now we're going to look. Now it says right here, remember what I read before about Asmodeus and the Prince of the Sea. Not been placed in his charge. Asmodeus is like, I don't have it. I'm not in charge of keeping that powerful creature. The Prince of the Sea has it. Do you know who the Prince of the Sea is? This is very important. Remember the name, Prince of the Sea. Remember that name. Okay, let's keep on going down. Let's finish up this paragraph, and we're going to get to the Prince of the Sea. And we're going to get to other stories and compare them to where they say they got this magical creature, the Shamir worm. At that moment, Solomon's emissary, Ben Yaha, the son of I forgot the guy's name, but I'm going to be looking at it in the article I have pulled up on my phone. I know the dude's Solomon's emissary that went and did this job was named Ben Yaha, who had concealed himself close by, frightened the bird that had dropped the Shamir, which was immediately seized and taken to Solomon. The wood grouse killed itself because it had violated the oath. Damn. Okay, so there we have that. Now I said, remember the name of Asmodeus and remember the name of the Prince of the Sea. Asmodeus, the king of the demons that was brought to Solomon. And if you don't know the story of how he was brought to Solomon, go look that up right now. Go look that up about how the demon Asmodeus was captured and brought to Solomon and bound under him. That's a very, very, very cool story, very interesting story. So once this demon Asmodeus, the king of the demons, the prince of the demons, was bound by Solomon and brought to him to answer this question, he says, I don't got it. The Prince of the Sea has it. Another demon has it. Who's the Prince of the Sea? The Prince of the Sea is Rahab. If you don't know who Rahab is, well, Rahab, Prince of the Sea. Rahab literally means violence. This archangel is called Sar-Shal-Yam, Prince of the Sea. This is a great and mighty angelic presence that can manifest in the most splendorous and beautiful, peaceful emanation, or in the most intense and terrible, wrathful emanations. Now get this. As I said, King Solomon had both King David as well, but King Solomon had access to the SEFER RAZIEL, which is the book of Raziel. Let's quickly go over to here. We're jumping to a lot of links, but these are all important. The world of the spirit has always been mysterious to mortal man and woman. Okay? As the keeper of secret knowledge of heaven, Archangel Raziel can help us whenever we find ourselves confronted with a mystery. Hold on. We're going to go to a different link and we're going to go straight. In fact, we don't even need to do that. We don't even need to do that. And actually, it came up, so let's just look at it. We're going to type in SEFER RAZIEL, and this should be way easier to get the drop on this. Okay, this is what I was looking for right here. This is the link I was looking for. So let's go learn about Raziel, and you're going to be wondering, what does Raziel, the Archangel Raziel, have to do with this? And what does the Archangel / fallen Archangel Rahab have to do with the Shamir worm? Okay. According to lore, the SEFER RAZIEL is the first book ever written and is made of sapphire or angel tears. It was given to by Hashem or Yahweh to the angel Raziel to give to Adam and the patriarchs. including the magically wise King Solomon, who was shown the book in a dream by RAZIEL. The book reveals secrets of the mysteries of creation. Now remember, we were writing the last thing about RAZIEL, that he is the keeper of the secrets of the Most High. Okay, this is the important part. Get this. According to the Lord, this is where Rahab comes into this. According to, or the king of the, or the prince of the sea, or the lord of the sea, comes into this. According to Lord, the SEFER RAZIEL was coveted by jealous angels, because it stated that even the angels didn't know some of these secrets. So they're saying, you're going to give it to Adam, that dude that just fell and got kicked out of the garden, but you're not going to tell us these secrets? Oh, heck no. According to the lore of the SEFER RAZIEL was so coveted by jealous angels that various intrigues and thefts were carried out. RAZIEL is said to stand at the peak of Mount Horeb every day and proclaim the secrets of humankind. Let's keep on going. Come on. Where is what I'm looking for? Okay, it's not going to show it on this one. So I'm going to have to go into my notes and get it out. Okay? Let's go down. Let's get back to Rahab. Rahab, noise, tumult, arrogance, is a mythical sea monster, a dragon of deep waters, known mostly common as the angel of the sea. Let's get back up to here. Let's go back to where we were reading. And it says, Asmodeus, the prince of the demons, who told him that the Shamir had been placed not in his charge, but in that of the prince of the sea. In other articles I've read, it said the lord of the sea. The demon of the deep, I've read it in one. So let's actually keep on going, and I really want to touch back on this and link together the SEFER RAZIEL and what happened to the book that was the SEFER RAZIEL, because it's very interesting. So I'm hoping it's in one of these links I can find it. This one is a good site. I know this one gives good site and pretty much basic information. Oh, you can't reach the page. You can't reach the page. Come on. Okay, we're gonna have to go into SEFER RAZIEL. The deep. We have to get specific. Now, remember what we read about the Shamir. And we're going to go back to this over here. DuckDuckGo. And this article that I have pulled up on my phone, I'm just going to have to go to my phone's research because these don't have what I'm saying. Let me read you this. The Talmud contains the most detailed legend surrounding the Shamir. According to the story, King Solomon asked his advisors how the stones for the temple could be prepared without the use of an axe or chisel. We've read that already, right? We know that. They told him of the miraculous Shamir, but did not know where to find it. The king then summoned forth spirits and demons, but these were also unable to say where it might be found. They did, however, suggest that Solomon consult their lord Asmodeus, king of the demons, who might know their answer. King Solomon sent his general Benayahu, son of Yahodiada, and who subdued Asmodeus. Like I said, the story of how they got Asmodeus was very interesting. This dude, Benayahu, subdued the king of the demons, Asmodeus, and he dragged him back over to King Solomon's palace. Asmodeus, or Ashmedai, revealed Asmodeus, the king of the demon of lust, revealed to Solomon that the Shamir was in the possession of the Lord of the Sea, guarded by a certain bird, a woodstock, according to most English versions of the story. Okay? So right there we hear that Asmodeus told him where to find it, and it was in possession of the Lord of the Sea, guarded by a certain bird. It says in the other article we read that the bird, the priest or the king of the sea or the prince of the sea was, or the demon of the deep, entrusted it to a certain bird that would carry it around and drop it, and use it to drop seeds and break open rocks and plant seeds inside the rocks, probably amongst the ocean and on the cliff sides. So this is all stuff I've already read about the Shamir. We know what it looks like, but I want to connect the SEFER RAZIEL to it. We're going to have to go down multiple pages because I'm not going to quit. We're not going to quit. I want to link all these together. Let's keep on going. Let's go to the second page. I hate having to go to the second page, but let's do it. Okay, here we go. You can just look at certain sites and see that it's going to give you the information you want. What the hell? That's not what I was looking for. Come on. Because we're going to hear about the demon of the prince of the sea is Rahab, the fallen angel Rahab. Okay. Oh my god, these ads. Okay. Okay, so here we go. This is finally, I got it. Adam and the angel Raziel speak. The book of Raziel, the angel, which is divided into 5 books or sections, which I believe is the Kabbalah, claims to relate an interaction between Adam and the angel Raziel. Now get this, in other stories, when we're going to go up and read about Rahab in a later video, we're going to hear that the demon of the deep, or the archangel that was put over the waters, known as Rahab, felt bad. There's angels that felt bad for Adam, and there's angels that didn't feel really anything for Adam after he fell. So let's keep on reading. And the angel Raziel, shortly after the fall out of Eden, Adam prays to God and apologizes for betraying his trust by eating from the tree of knowledge. Moved by his prayer, God sends him the very best of his angels, Raziel, in order to help improve man's existence outside of paradise. Raziel provides Adam with a wealth of important information, the Kabbalah, the SEFER RAZIEL, including how to speak, the power thoughts can have on both one's spirit and both the physical world. So pretty much they taught him how to speak things into existence down here, and of the Kabbalah, and how to control the elements and everything, and how to use the planets and all that stuff, which today Hebrew Israelites say is demonic and wicked. The book contained the mystical teachings such as the names of gods, angels, and all that other good stuff. You can read this on your own. You can go look up their SEFER RAZIEL and read it, what it contains on your own. I've already done that. This is what I want to get to. The popular myth claimed that the other angels were angered by the SEFER HaRazem, as it represented a second chance for human beings who appeared to have done so little to be worthy of redemption. Think about it. What happened in heaven to these angels, and what did they go through? And now they're looking down saying, are you kidding me? These little nothings got booted out from the garden, and now the Most High is going to give them a second chance, but condemn us to eternal damnation after a certain period of time, and we have no chance of getting back. They were mad, they were tight, they were jealous of us. It is believed that one or several angels conspired to steal the text from Adam and Eve and throw it in the ocean. But God retrieved the revelations of the text, safeguarded through many descendants of Noah, who found it in assistance, who found assistance in building his ark from the wisdom of Raziel. Where is the story of? Okay, long story short, I can't find this link, but long story short, there's multiple links that said that these people did not just take it, they stole it and they threw it into the ocean. They threw it into the depths of the ocean. And the demon, or the archangel Rahab, who felt bad for Adam and felt bad for Eve and felt bad for mankind, the Most High instructed Rahab to go into the depths of the ocean, beneath the ocean, the most bottom dark pit of beneath the earth that you can go to, and they told him, go down there and get that book. and give it back to Adam, and he did it. So I find it interesting that now, when they need the Shamir worm, Asmodeus, the king of the demons, says, it's not in my possession, it's in the prince of the oceans, the king of the oceans, the demon of the deep, the angel of the sea. So this dude was not only in possession of, when you do research, it was not only is in possession of the Kraken, he's in charge, he's like the father of the Kraken creatures. He also went down to the bottom of the deep and retrieved the SEFER RAZIEL to give back to Adam under the Most High's demand. And he was also in possession of the mighty Shamir worm. Who is this spirit Rahab? Now I know who he is. I've been doing research on the... Let me show you this real quick if you haven't heard of this. A kingdom under the Indian Ocean. If you haven't seen this video, this is a fascinating video. Lucifer has Satan and the motley crew, Aseroth, Satan, Beelzebub, and Queen of Heaven, the false Queen of Heaven, aka Inanna, are married. The highest of all female deities or demons. They all were all the ones that were the main ones that went against the Most High. They were the most powerful angels that went against the Most High. And they were all kicked down here. So they all have kingdoms established. One in the firmament, one in the sky, one on earth, and one underneath the sea, or underneath the earth. If you haven't seen this video, go look it up. I'm not going to play it, but we now know that it says what we've learned about the Shamir. We learned about what the Shamir is. We learned that Moses and both King Solomon were given access to this. But the interesting thing is that Moses was handed it straight by the Most High to his hands on Mount Sinai when he was going up there, and came back down glowing. So not only did he go up there and get the stone tablets and come back down with them, he clearly came down with some other stuff too, I guess. And I most likely bet he came down with the SEFER RAZIEL. But I don't think so, actually, because Moses was able to call on Metatron in the wilderness. So Metatron can just give him, because Metatron's also a keeper of secrets of the Most High. So let's do a little research on Rahab, because like I said, I want to give this a whole nother video, because this dude deserves a whole nother video. But Rahab, noise, tumult, arrogance. Now we also read over here, Rahab, the prince of the sea. Let's go back to over here, who told him the Shamir had been placed not in his charge, but that of the prince of the sea. Rahab, the prince of the sea, also means violence. Go over here, or go back to where is the link I just had open? Rahab, we go back over here. Noise, tumults, arrogance. And the other thing we just read, that he's named violence, a mythical sea monster, a dragon of deep waters, known most commonly as the angel of the sea. He has been known in other articles that I've read as the demon of the deep, the fallen angel of the sea. And it says in one of the stories that I read, where the angels threw the book of Raziel that the Most High was going to give as a tool of redemption to Adam after he fell, out of jealousy that Adam can be given redemption and be forgiven and be saved, but they couldn't. They said that he didn't deserve to be, so they stole the book that the Most High gave to him, the SEFER RAZIEL, that taught him how to subdue the earth, and they threw it into the ocean. And then the Most High called on Rahab, the mythical angel of the sea, once a keeper of faith who protected seafaring coastal peoples. The Most High called for him to go get the book and bring it back up to Adam, and he did with no issue, because it says that he felt bad. Now here's this. Rahab was the angel. Rahab was the angel of the deep. Angel of the deep. Let's go back over here. Prince of the sea. Let's go over to this one. Prince of the sea. Yam, sea. We write his name in the other one. Now this goes into the title Prince of the Sea, however, goes beyond association of Rahab with the holy Shekinah. This, at one point in time, he was a holy creature. The name Rahab, violence, points to this, or violence of the ways of the other side. This is the way of archons, their angel, and demons, and yet this is an angel that transformed violence into peace. We can see that with the way that the sea works, the ocean works. It goes from peaceful, calm, tranquil to violent, raging, and crazy and scary. So let's go back up here and keep on reading about Rahab. Like I said, I just want to show the association that the mighty Shamir worm was in possession by Rahab, the prince of the sea, the angel of the deep. When you read these titles given to him, they're the same creature. This is the same entity that was in possession of the Shamir worm, and it was also the same entity that grabbed the SEFER RAZIEL from the deep and brought it back up to Adam after these jealous angels who didn't feel like Adam deserved redemption threw it the book that the Most High gave to him. So it shows that multiple, and when we're going to read more about Rahab, you're going to see that not all angels fell from the war in heaven. And it wasn't just they were split up then and there. Certain angels fell later in time. Certain angels chose to say, no, I'm not going to obey him after the fall. Okay? So, this is what I wanted to read about. Rahab was the angel of the deep, and thus was an angel that was closest to the children of Adam and Eve, being part of the veins of the world. When we go and we talk about and we do the video on the kingdom underneath the Indian Ocean and the underwater kingdoms of Satan, and the spirits are the marine spirits, we're going to be reading about how they're very close to man and they know all of man's secrets because they use the waters, they hear things through the waters, they sit on the coastlines, they have access to all waters and lakeways. And we hear that Rahab is the king of all this. He's the prince of all this. He's the prince of rivers, streams, all of this. In fact, it says it right here. Even after his imprisonment, Rahab would be there in the waters, rivers, and springs of the world, but where no mortal may dare to enter. He would listen upon the conversations between the men who traversed the coastal waters, as well as the gods that took the ocean as under their domain. We're going to go down here and read about how he fought with Satan. Satan wanted to declare the whole world his, and Rahab would it let him. Rahab's like, no, the waters are mine. You ain't getting to them. Does this sound familiar? Kind of like the stories of Greek gods fighting over territory. Okay. Let's just see some more. Rahab seldom came to heaven unless it was for the utmost important or was significantly called to by God. Kind of like when God called you to go get Yahweh called you to go get the SEFER RAZIEL that was thrown into your domain or thrown into your territory and give back to Adam. All the waters were under his government, bays, rivers, and even the waters under the earth. That's a well. A well where the Shamir worm was said to be kept. This is through the rivers that he kept in touch with the earth, and thus knew more of the goings on the children of Adam than most territorial spirits. For, like I said, there's multiple kingdoms. Some are in the air, some are on the earth, and some are in the water. It seems like the water has the most powerful, the most access to man. So, I'm going to stop the video right here. All praises to the Most High. This is different. Let's just go back and finish it off and loop around back with the Shamir. Let's go see what they say he looked like, find some more interesting pictures. This is the most common one that we've seen, this hellhound dog thing. But like I said, we read that the Shamir worm was 1/3 of a barley grain, or a barley seed. So I don't know why they're showing it like this weird golden retriever sized fish dog. This is some more things that we're just going to go down and see some more descriptions of it, or what people say it looked like. Now remember, in another article, before I stop, let me just read this one more article of what the Shamir worm said to look like. It was 1/3 of an inch, the size of a barley corn. Okay. Trying to see where the description of it, where it was saying it glowed green. Let's see if I can find it. Well, I can't find it right now, but it was a description of it said that the thing would glow green. Now remember, it was created on the 6th day of creation. This is not a regular day creature. This was only gifted to Moses and King Solomon. They're the only two that possessed it. And when they did possess it, it said that people were dying and people would be sick. And many people allude to this creature being a radioactive animal because it was supposed to be kept in a box. The shamir, created at the end of the 6th day of creation, possessed the property of cutting any material, however hard, even the hardest diamonds. For this reason, it was used by Moses to work with the gems on the bib of judgment of the high priest. Okay, this is where I want to read about the most extraordinary fact was that the friction or the action that marked the gems produced no residue. It looks like the description of a modern laser-guided industrial process. The shamir cannot be stored in a closed container of iron or any metal, as it would have caused it to burst, perhaps due to the heat resulting from possible radioactivity. Radioactivity that would justify the ailments of King Solomon and King David after the use of the shamir. So they're saying that King Solomon and King David fell to sickness because of the shamir worm and using the radioactivity used to cut the gemstones. Which is very, very, very interesting, because I just got into a little quarrel with some people on the Hebrew Israelite page saying that King Solomon died because he was just a wicked man that was practicing witchcraft and was evil and summoning demons and working with them. Oh boy. Here's some other ways it was used to describe the shamir: metallic dividing worm, a worm capable of piercing the hardest metals. In the Tanakh, Jeremiah 7:1 is described as a diamond, a stylus, the pen used at the time to engrave the wax tablets. Okay, so we've now learned about the shamir. We know what the shamir is. We know who the prince or the lord of the deep, of the fallen archangel of the deep is. And we know what the book, the SEFER RAZIEL, is, that was thrown into the deep. And we've connected some pretty cool topics today, which I've been learning about individually. And like I said, Rahab will get his own video. The kingdom under the Indian Ocean and the marine spirits will get their own video. But today, this shamir worm is the one that we focus on today. So I hope you guys like this. I hope you found it interesting. All praises to the Most High. I'm trying to use my platform for more than just subjects on this type of stuff. But like I said, I want to get some art up here. I got to get some drawings done. I got to get some art made and get some speed draws up here, because that's what I'm naturally doing. I'm naturally making a lot of music and I'm making a lot of art. And when I'm not doing that, I'm doing research on the mysteries of the Most High and learning more about Him, and especially about the angels and the demons, and about the spirits that are on this earth that are here to help us and those here to stifle us. So I hope you found this interesting. I hope I didn't jump around too much. It's the 4th of July. I'm treating this like the Sabbath. I'm just staying inside and studying His Word and chasing after the mystery. So with that being said, all praises to the Most High. Thank you.